Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to say a word of welcome to you. And in order to do that, I thought I would use a metaphor about our sense of place this afternoon. Not many of you realize this. You're now sitting in the Great Hall. But you are also sitting right on top of the Witwatersrand. If you haven't noticed, the rainwater that falls on the north steps of this building goes off to the Indian Ocean. And rainwater that falls on that side goes to the Atlantic Ocean. That's the Witwatersrand. Why is it an important point? The Witwatersrand was formed because that part of the subcontinent shoved into this part, causing the land to rise. And that's why we sit on this ridge. Okay. Now, there are two metaphors that I want you to keep in mind. The one is upheaval, and Wits has always stood for upheaval. The second is that uprise brought gold to the surface. And so the two metaphors together is about value through upheaval. And that's what the symposium is about. It's going to be about value through upheaval. But the other metaphor that I want you to stay with is, remember, you are now on the top of this ridge. So it's important for me to say to you, welcome to the edge. This really is the intellectual edge. It's here where things get shaped, and this is the front end of what Wits is about. I think I've been looking through the program, and I'm aware, and first of all, let me also apologize for our Vice Chancellor who can't be at Southland because he's out at another meeting off campus. But one of the important points I wanted to make is that the subject of conversation, and it is really important that our students have organized this, is really deals with three of my irritations, and I'm going to tell you what they are in order of increasing irritation. The first is when I travel in Europe and North America and so on, and it seems that people are surprised when I use the word African next to the word excellent in the same sentence. And people look at me as though it's not possible that you can be an African and excellent, and there's something wrong with that sentence. It doesn't feel right. It's a mild irritation. Sometimes I deal with it. Most often I just ignore it and walk off. It's also a sense of that invidious form of racism that expects less from people from Africa, and particularly black people in Africa. That says, Akshem, it's okay from Africa, you actually can deliver less. We expect less from you. And as I say, it's an irritation. It's not my job to deal with one racist at a time, and we didn't get rid of apartheid like that. We changed the institutions, and we will get there. The second part of my irritation that I think this symposium is dealing with today is when I hear Africans themselves making those sorts of statements. There's a sense of pessimism about what we can achieve, what is possible, and indeed what the limits of possibility are for Africa. The third of my irritations, and certainly the one that grabs me most by the throat, is when Africans themselves, we ourselves, rise up to those expectations. And I think that the symposium is dealing with those three issues, and I'm very pleased to say in reverse order. It's dealing essentially with the possibility that Africans will not rise up and live to those expectations where less will be expected of us, and indeed we will be delivering less. That governance will be important to us, and we will do it at the best of what can be thought and known. And that for me is what the university stands for, and more importantly, it's what the academics in the university stands for. The symposium is about the next generation who have to inherit from us. I sometimes tell my wife that the worst thing our children could do is grow up to be like us. There's much that we have to apologize for, my age. Why did apartheid last so long? We should apologize for that. How is it possible that an oil company can pollute a whole Gulf and get away with $1 or $2 billion of fine? That's our fault, and we have to apologize to the generation that we're handing over to. This symposium really is about the next generation of intellectuals in Africa. And I want to thank the Golden Key, particularly the Wits chapter of the Golden Key Association, for taking the time gathering this illustrious panel to talk to you, and for taking the time to have this seminar at Wits University. So welcome all to those of our students. Thank you for being here. To those of you who are from outside of Wits, welcome to Wits University, the only university with a soccer club in the Premier League. But more importantly, the only university with a soccer club in the Premier League anywhere in the world whose captain has an honours degree. Thank you very much.